Hi, my name is Gerhard Schwantner. Welcome to Selling Power TV. Today we have the great pleasure of meeting with Claire Dale and Patricia Payton, and both have written a wonderful new book called Physical Intelligence. Welcome, Claire and Pat.
Hello, Gerhard. Lovely to be here.
Hi, Gerhard. Fantastic to see you.
Let's start with the beginning. How did you get the idea to write this book?
I have a long-term colleague and friend who met Claire at an event at Bank of New York and knew that I had a background in dance and saw some of Claire's content and thought, let me share this with Pat. And she sent it to me and said, is this woman on to anything? Because this looks interesting. And I said, oh my gosh, is she on to something? This is all absolutely accurate. These techniques, I don't know about all of them, but I've used many of them from my dance background all through my career. I never thought of building a curriculum around just these techniques, even though I'd pull one in here and there. So Claire and I met, and very shortly thereafter, I joined Companies in Motion. And we discovered relatively quickly, Gerhard, that while you're familiar with cognitive intelligence and emotional intelligence, most people don't know the phrase physical intelligence. That's the back end of the how we wrote the book story.
And I was coming off the back of a 15-year career as artistic director of my own contemporary dance company. And I noticed that when I was moving with them every day, breathing, grounding, creating movement to establish different emotional states, inner states in myself, and of course in the audience, I was a far better leader. I was sharper, I was more connected with people. I was onto something then, and I was in my head, I was already calling it, this is physical intelligence. This is physical intelligence. And so I started in 2004 with Companies in Motion, and a number of years later, thankfully, met Pat and two others who transformed what I'd already created into a scalable curriculum. And we've had a lot of success working with salespeople, negotiators, leaders, all kinds of people in all walks of life.
Physical intelligence, once you develop it, it actually strengthens your cognitive and your emotional intelligence. It doesn't just sit alongside it. Right. It underpins it. It lifts those other two up. So salespeople for sure will experience a boost. They'll get into that flow state for any number of reasons through physical intelligence. And we actually have clients who have come back to us after we've trained their sales teams and said we've achieved double-digit growth in the midst of a downturn. We've increased the commercial success of our deals by 12.5%, and they've credited physical intelligence. So those aren't our claims, those are the client's claims. And you, Gerhard, know how challenging it is to get a company to come and give a training organization credit for an increase. So we know that this has not just a personal impact on getting them to the flow state, but a commercial impact. It changes business outcomes.
So Claire, explain the principles when you use your body intelligence. What does it do? How does it work?
Let's take the example of, first of all, a salesperson who's in flow. They know they're on target for that quarter. And so the stakes are not quite as high, and they can quite easily create relationships by boosting the chemistry of relationships, the chemical oxytocin. They can keep their stress and threat chemical, which is, of course, we've all heard of it, but cortisol, the threat chemical, that hangs around at an easy, optimal level where they can raise their energy levels or reduce them at will. But let's take a salesperson who is up against it, and let's face it, the economic hole of COVID is creating enormous challenges, isn't it, for everybody generating income and on the selling side. So what happens there is, because the stakes are higher, cortisol rises, and dopamine, that need, desire, want cycle, kicks in like an engine moving us really, really fast. And this tightens the whole system. And so salespeople in that context will experience a lot of physical tension, muscular tension, and a drop in the levels of serotonin, the well-being, the feel-good, the everything's all right in the world and with me chemical. what salespeople need to do literally is to get themselves in flow when they start to feel tight, start to feel worried, and perhaps the next few months looks like it's not going to pan out as they want to.
To me, there's the comfort zone, and then there's the peak performance zone. How do I get out of the comfort zone and do the things that I'm not really excited to do?
I think there are a few basics that might not be the most exciting or new ideas, but they are the foundation. I describe strength in our curriculum as the foundation. And the first two things you need to do for strength are to focus on your posture and your breathing. But once you put those in place, now we can start to move because you have that stable,
right,
sound foundation.
Right. The main thing is you need to be putting your feet on the ground. It's literally like earthing an electrical system. You have support, the world has your back, and in that, once you're grounded, then you can lift up through the spine. Imagine a string from the center of the top of the head. This comes from the Alexander technique. The shoulders float up out to the sides. And with this sense of support, lift, lengthening and widening with the grounding, you'll find that your breath can fill your body. Now, once your breath has space to fill your body, then you can start to pace your breath, regular paced breathing, which sets the chemistry in motion of extremely high cognitive function and what's called heart-brain coherence.
What about the other side, which is that you get a long day, a lot of adrenaline expanded, and then you're at home and you can't fall asleep because you're still excited. Explain, what does your book say about that?
We have to prepare for sleep. Just as you prepare to start your day, we need to prepare to end our day. So you need to be starting at least a half an hour before you want to go to sleep to get yourself ready to sleep and remove all distractions from all of the technology has to come out of the room, right? Should be in complete darkness. You shouldn't be eating heavy meals or exercising too close to when you want to go to sleep. Do sequential relaxation, which is a technique where you are flexing and then relaxing all of the muscle groups in your body from your feet up to the top of your head. We want you to get at least 10 minutes of paced breathing, even better if you can get 20 minutes in a day. The key is to build the protocol that works for you and to honor it as best you can, acknowledging that we have those distractions at home that sometimes make it difficult.
It sounds like when I listen to you that it may be a good idea to actually have a micro agenda on your calendar and remind yourself at 11
Absolutely.
o'clock, take a breathing break. And
two things that come to mind. First of all, we say, as you read the book, in each section, choose the techniques that resonate for you and habit stack them into your day. And once you've tackled that first set of techniques, then spend the next month layering in, habit stacking the next set that really resonates for you.
As soon as I am conscious of being awake, I will analyze, how am I thinking this morning? Is it one of those mornings where there is some worry going around? And if there is, I will say, stop. And then I just nudge my mind, not only to be in the present, but to go to that higher level of thought, which for me is questioning, well, why would I be worrying about that? Because usually everything turns out fine, exactly. Or what can I be grateful for? Or any of those tricks that that elevate the mind to a better place. That's our process, but we do it by inquiring and changing the body. So what's the body state of that self-talk, and doing the opposite with the body, whatever that is for you, to support the mind. So again, it's a two-way street all the time. All that mental work needs to be changed in the body as well. If we don't actually change the body and realize the body, the shape, the muscle groups that are holding, the emotional, the moods, the capturing the moods and emotions of particular events, unless we're changing that as well, the body is like an elastic band, and it goes back and it'll still be the same thoughts, and you won't get the same level of transformation mentally and emotionally unless you change the body.
And I think that your book really shows that you can reprogram your body in a way so you achieve optimal cognitive, psychological, and physical functioning.
Absolutely.
Right.
Well, thank you.
Thank you, Gerhard.
Thank you.
It's been an absolute pleasure.